Aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome to another tarot reading here at Transform with Rian. And today's topic is all about what you need to remember about yourself. So, sometimes we go through tough times and we feel a little bit overwhelmed and we forget like all the skills and all the abilities and magical powers we really possess in life. And so, those of you that were drawn to this reading today, this is going to be sort of like a motivational, in a way, reading for you to kind of remember about all the beautiful accomplishments and things you've already done in your life to help you kind of move forward with whatever struggles you may be experiencing right now. And we're also going to even take a look back at some maybe past life energies as well, because I feel like that's a bit relevant to the topic today. So please take a look at these three options. I get the sense that most likely you'll be drawn to just one, but if by chance you have a calling to more than one, please go ahead and listen to both readings or all three readings if that resonates with you, okay? So you can receive the necessary messages to help you along your journey. So without further ado, let's get started with card number one, Shuri. So hello, group number one. Welcome to your reading to find out what you need to remember about yourself. And for those of you that were drawn to this Shuri card, it says here on the bottom, if something's broken, make it better. So one of the things that's so amazing about Shuri is she actually has a very brilliant mind, and her mind is very much geared towards things like technology, medicine, and things that I would say are even meant to help with efficiency, right? Do more work with less energy. In a way, this type of mind that can help make life easier in general. And so I think at the core of this message here, to start off with, because there's something else I'm getting here as well, but at the start of this message, is to really remember that you are a problem solver, that you have a knack for finding ways to make life easier for yourself, okay? Like you are a problem solver, and it may be that this particular problem seems a little bit more challenging for you to solve than any of your problems before, but rest assured, just take this as a sign that, yo, you are leveling up. That's why the challenges seem to be getting a little bit harder for you as compared to the past, right? I mean, like, if you think of any video game, to all my gamers out there, shout out to you. Like, as you progress in the levels, do they get easier or do they get harder or more difficult? I mean, they get more difficult, right? And that's just because you're advancing in your skills and in your abilities. So just remember, like, hey, you got this. You can solve this problem. It may take a little bit longer. It may require a little bit more effort. And maybe you have to try a couple of things before you find the correct solution, but stick with it. One of the things that was so profound for me when I was learning a little bit about a lot of historical figures is, we think of like Albert Einstein and Benjamin Franklin as like really amazing inventors, and we really remember the things that they were successful in building and creating, but we never really get a full understanding of like all the failures that led up to this genius invention, this genius discovery, okay? So, it's okay if things take a little while and you have to do a bit of trial and error, okay? Just trust that eventually you'll get there. Now, the other thing that I'm getting here is that that it's important for you to remember your strength on your own. And I'm pulling this in from, one of the energies I got from Shuri from the latest movie Wakanda Forever, right? She's the younger sibling. And so T'Challa was the one that was the ruler and took care of things and took the lead on things. And when T'Challa was gone, that responsibility fell onto Shuri. And of course, that's a big weight to carry. And so there was an adjustment period before she kind of got used to being in this role of like a leader to her people. And so what I'm getting here to kind of remind you of as well is that you are capable of doing things on your own, even if you had a lot of help before, even if you have someone that you kind of fall back to as sort of serves as your safety blanket. I get the sense that that person maybe is not as available or they're absent in this because you're experiencing that same journey right now as Shuri did about stepping into your own power. So that's something you need to remember and realize is this is the reason why you are having to do a lot of this on your own and it seems more challenging is because you're ready to level up, right? You're ready to really prove to yourself what your full potential is. So let's get another card here. We were talking about past lives in the intro. So let's see what we got cooking, like some energies from past lives that you need to remember now. Okay, that will be very relevant to what you're experiencing currently. So we have medicine man or woman. Oh, this is beautiful. So we were just talking about how Shuri has a lot of skill when it comes to solving medical issues. And biological processes. And so what I'm getting here is that you really have a very strong knowledge again in what I'm hearing is sort of like health and wellness and sort of what's possible for the physical body, okay? And you have a deep understanding of that. Like you know when you can push a little bit further, but you also know when it's like, hey, time to rest, time to recover. And there's this knowing within you about understanding what your body is capable of and what other people's bodies are capable of. And I mean that sort of in the physical sense to start off with, okay? Because the thing that I love about medicine men and medicine women is they also are very spiritually oriented. So they get the physical body, but they also understand the spirit and the strength and the willpower of the spirit. So again, it's knowing like when your mind maybe is telling you to give up, even though your body and your spirit is capable of so much more. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I feel like if you were drawn to this reading, you'll understand sort of what I'm speaking on. And so it's really important for you to trust yourself, trust that intuition within you, because I feel like that's also a strength of the medicine people. I'm just going to call them people, is that yes, they can maybe do what's textbook remedies are, right? Like maybe you know some skills on how to solve a problem based on what you've learned in a textbook of like other people's works and their trials and failures and successes. Like you can learn from those things, but you also have this innate wisdom, this intuition within you on how you can adapt or modify the solution or the approach to suit the specific instance you're in now or your particular circumstance. Okay, so trust your gut, trust your intuition. Really, I'm hearing that you're a little bit in your head right now, okay? And it's important for you to remember your heart, remember your soul, remember who you are. Okay, don't forget that. Don't let, I'm also hearing that for many of you, lately it seems like maybe people's opinions of you and what they think of you and I'm hearing the word assessment as well. So I don't know if maybe some of you had like a review at your job or maybe a family member or friend kind of like criticized you and it was a little bit hurtful and discouraging. But I'm hearing that it's at those moments that you need to really tune back into yourself and sort of let go of what other people are saying about you or to you that is a bit hurtful so that you don't, give up on yourself or give up on your goal or your dream or whatever you're going for. Take their critiques and take whatever you can that's actually going to be helpful from it and then just leave the rest. Okay. And also I'm hearing too that there's no need to take whatever people have said personally. And maybe that's kind of how you got onto this point of overthinking and thinking too deeply into it. And perhaps, your feelings were hurt, which I'm not saying is wrong. Like you should really feel what you're feeling. And I don't want to take away from your feelings or diminish them or not invalidate them. Wow, I feel like that was a really hard word for me to pull out of myself, invalidate. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying like, as you process your emotions, it's okay to let go of some things that just don't feel good to you and embrace the things that will take you further in life, all right? So let's see what else we got here. We have snake, healing. You are a healer. Oh, wow. This is so perfect that this comes with the medicine man and or medicine woman. So for some of you, I'm getting the sense that you do work in some sort of health service. Maybe you're a nurse, maybe you're a physical therapist, a doctor, a physician assistant, a counselor, a therapist. Maybe some of you also do like research, perhaps, right? Research to help come up with new ways to treat people so that their health can improve. Maybe some of you are even like physical trainers, okay? Or maybe you help guide people with meditations, or maybe some of you actually are medicine people, right? Shamans, healers, astrologers. So I feel like, again, what we were talking about earlier, something recently made you doubt in your abilities and kind of maybe took a hit on your self-esteem. You took a hit on your self-esteem and your feeling of how competent and capable and skillful you are. But this is just a confirmation, y'all, that you are at your core someone that's meant to help others and help heal others, okay? Now, coming from the healthcare profession myself, like, most of the time I got on really well with my patients and I felt like we really understood each other and we were able to kind of come to a consensus to help improve my patients' wellness, right? And it was a very beautiful, harmonious, easygoing kind of experience. But I did get my occasional patients who we just did not vibe. But those occasional patients, it's not really that you don't know what you're doing. I think that's not the case most of the time. It's just a difference of opinions, a difference in personalities, and you should not mistake a difference in opinions and personalities, meaning like you don't know what you're talking about or you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so I feel like you just need to be reminded of that you have the training, you have the skills, you have the natural talent and ability to be a healer, meaning to help others along their journey feel better and help them continue to move forward and not get stuck. Okay, that's what I'm really hearing. Now, let's pull some tarot cards here for some additional information, maybe a few more details or some things that you need to hear that's really important. So we have the Fool, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we also have the Four of Wands. What I'm really hearing here is that, we're not going to be perfect every single time in what we do and how we work with people and how we do our job. Like, we all have our off days. And so I'm really feeling here that with the Foolish card, it's this is a good reminder, like that you are only human, just like myself and just like everyone around you, okay? And there's no shame in having an off day or even making a mistake, okay? As long as you're able to recognize the mistake and correct it, and ideally avoid making the same mistake again in the future, okay? That's where we really evolve and learn. And honestly, we learn the most from our mistakes. Okay, I mean, hopefully the mistakes don't have a lot of consequences or nothing that's, life-threatening or anything like that. But mistakes are really I'm hearing the word fruit of life. So they're the juiciest things that we experience. And they're the biggest opportunities for growth. And that's why it should be celebrated. Okay, it should be celebrated when we learn something new, something amazing. And, during my life, like, I've made some mistakes myself, just like everybody else, and some have been a little bit more painful than others, right? But I have to say, I wouldn't ever change anything because all the mistakes and the other experiences that I've been through, even the good ones, have made me who I am today. All right. And I don't regret any of them when I'm looking at the bigger picture because I truly believe that I am who I'm meant to be today, even more so than before when I was trying to be somebody I wasn't because I was trying to fit in and I was trying to be popular and liked by everybody, that kind of thing. And so I feel like the same thing is happening with your journey at this time, that you're really getting a better understanding of who you are and how resilient you can be. And with the Wheel of Fortune, again, I feel like sometimes too, it just seems like a stroke of bad luck, right? Like sometimes things just don't align and things just don't work out how we want it to be. And so we kind of think of it as bad luck. And that's really what it is. But the powers that be, whether you call it spirit, universe, God, or whatnot, they always are looking out for us growing, our soul growing and maturing. And so it does put in obstacles in our way, which we take to be sort of like a chance experience. Or we call it luck. But really, this is us wanting to challenge ourselves, right? And the universe giving us these challenges because we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again without any growth, right? Like, there's no beauty in being stagnant. Okay, I mean, I'm reminding of that story where, people are reliving Groundhog Day over and over and over again. Or there's a story from when I was younger. I don't see it that much anymore, where a little girl wishes it could be Christmas every day, and she gets that wish, and then she ends up getting sick of Christmas because she's living the same day over and over and over again. Like, we are not meant to do that as living beings in this reality on this planet, and so we do need challenges. We do need things that get shaken up every once in a while. So just appreciate that, okay? And appreciate that you're still here. You're still alive. You can still make a difference. You can still change, and you can change your circumstances. We have the Hierophant, which is beautiful, and also the Seven of Wands. So I'm really feeling like, this is just an obstacle in your life right now, and you are a survivor. Oh my God, I'm thinking of that Destiny's Child song now. I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna work hard, keep on surviving. I totally mixed up the lyrics there, but you know what I mean. Maybe you can go listen to that song and kind of pump yourself up after this reading as well. But this is an obstacle in the long, beautiful journey that is your life. Like, there is something coming after this. Your story is not over yet, okay? So it's all right. Shed your tears, dust yourself off, and keep on moving. Now, with this Hierophant card, it is very, very, very closely aligned to this medicine man or woman card as well. So again, this is your divine calling, all right? Remember your purpose. This is the point of this reading, that again, everyone has their off days, but you are meant to make an impact on other people's lives. You are meant to make a difference. And you don't do that by being perfect. You do that by being yourself. You do that by growing and learning and showing everybody that you can get better, that you can overcome challenges and difficulties, and you can conquer those obstacles, all right? So you can also be living by example. And sometimes it's really hard to relate to people who are like too perfect. And so it's gives you a little bit more humanity and more relatability when you stumble occasionally, okay? And you can be an even bigger teacher by sharing your experiences and teaching others so that they can learn from your mistakes. All right, loves? Oh my God, what a very powerful reading. I sense you are a light within the world, so don't lose that light, okay? Keep feeding it so it can shine brighter and brighter. So I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please like and leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the vibes here, don't forget to subscribe as well. And thank you for allowing me to do this reading for y'all. I will see you next time. Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome, group number 2, to your reading to find out what you need to remember about yourself now, what you need to know about who you are truly at your soul. And you were drawn to this spectrum card, Be Blinded by the Light. Now, I have to admit, I don't know that much about the character Spectrum from the comics. I think she was on some Infinity Watch, Guardians of the Galaxy's kind of team at one point. Also definitely part of the Avengers. And her abilities are about becoming light, like light frequencies, so that she can fly fast, she can shoot light beams or photon beams, and she can pass through solid objects by turning herself into pure energy, pure light. And also she kind of got highlighted in WandaVision, the series, where she kind of came into her powers as well. So as I say these things, what I'm really feeling is that you need to remember that you are light, okay? It's making me think of the song by India Ari. I am light, I am light. So you should listen to that song. The lyrics are actually very, very beautiful. So I highly recommend India Ari. So India is spelled like the country India, and Ari is spelled Arie. And the song is called I Am Light. And I think she even does like this live kind of a cappella version with people, and the harmonies are gorgeous. So please take a listen to it because I feel like you need to remember that you are a light here in the world, meaning you are a blessing. I'm going to say this again. You are a blessing. The world would not be complete without you in it. Okay? I firmly believe that everybody has a role to play on this planet. This is why you are here right now. I'm also hearing that many of you are light workers. Okay, you are light workers, you are star seeds if you're familiar with those terms. If not, just know that you are meant to be here to help shift the planet to a higher frequency, a higher vibration. And this doesn't mean you need to like go out there and win like a Nobel Prize or run in politics or, become a super rich philanthropist and anything like that. Like you can be a light by just taking care of your family and friends, being a loving, kind, caring person. Even in your own workplace, whatever role you have, you can be a light by bringing that positive energy into the workplace and that compassion and that humanity in your interactions with other people. All right. Even you smiling, like a sincere smile or a sincere hug or handshake or compliment, is you being a light in the world. Okay. Do you feel me on that one? Those are examples of amplifying the light energies. A warm smile can go so far. Or simply just saying, hey, I'm sorry this is happening to you. I feel for you. If you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm here. Or if you just want to share what's happening with you, I can listen. That is an example of being a being of light. And I'm feeling like many of you, there's a couple of things that's happening. One, I'm hearing that some of you are really going through some difficult times, like socially, right? Maybe you're being bullied, teased, or picked upon. Maybe someone is taking advantage of you, hurting your feelings. Maybe someone is like being kind of rude or insensitive, uncaring, and it could even be someone very close to you, right? Like a family member, a partner, a friend, and maybe for some reason, like you think you deserve it. And I'm here to tell you, like, no, you do not deserve to be mistreated. And I feel like that's really been dampening your energy, dampening your light, like bringing your energies down, And I need you to remember that even though you are a kind and caring being, it doesn't mean that it's okay for people to mistreat you or take you for granted. Okay, you need to remember that you deserve to be treated just as well as you treat other people. And the other people who are not treating you well, you don't deserve that. Okay, there's nothing that you did wrong to justify their behaviors. Okay, so I'm hearing that, and I'm also hearing that some of you maybe are getting a little bit discouraged when it comes to pursuing your goals, okay? Because you've been trying to do your thing because you felt it was so aligned, and maybe you're not making it as much progress or you're not getting as much success as you would anticipate. But I'm hearing that you just have to be patient, okay? And maybe you can think of ways in which you can make your process a little bit better, if there's ways you can improve, I should say, and try implementing some of those. But don't give up on the big dream, okay? Don't give up on the big goal. I'm hearing that maybe you just need to adjust something in your routine or in your practice or in the way you do things, and you'll get where you need to go, okay? Now, I mentioned in the intro talking about past lives, and so I thought it'd be important to kind of bring up some past life energies because I feel like there might be a link to a past life with what you're currently experiencing, okay? So we have ships. So what I'm hearing here is that there is a bit of an adventurer within you, okay? there's a part of you that wants something new, wants something different, wants to experience like a very big and dramatic change, okay? And whatever difficulties you're having now is kind of that catalyst to help push you into making a big change in your life, whether that could be switching jobs, moving on from a relationship, cutting certain people out of your life, moving homes, moving locations, whatever that may be. In your past life, there was an adventurer within you. Someone who was meant to meet new people, explore new cultures, be parts of different communities. And that's you spreading your light. Okay? Like, you are not one of those people that's kind of like you go out there and you conquer or you colonize, right? Like, not that type of traveler or an adventurer. Like, you are bringing the best of your world, your experience, and your knowledge to other people for their benefit. So, what I'm seeing here is like, it's maybe what you need to think of is thinking of places where you can continue to shine, because perhaps where you are right now, your light is being blunted, your light is being kind of covered and, like I said before, taken for granted. And so it's time for you to move to a better position, a better place, a better location that you can amplify your light even more. Okay, like I'm seeing this, the sails, I'm really being called to the sails, and what I'm feeling is like you're this ship with the sail and there's no wind that's propelling you. Like the air around you is very dead, and I feel like that phrase right there will really resonate with a lot of you, that the environment you're in right now is very dead. There's nothing that is motivating you or pushing you to go even further. It's kind of like you already gave what you could to it, and now there's no balance because it's giving you nothing back in return. So it's time for you to find a place, adjust the sails, adjust the direction so that you can capture that wind, that momentum to continue moving you forward. Oh, yes, that resonates so strongly right now. Okay, let's pull another card here, an animal card. So we have raccoon, resourcefulness. You have all the resources you need. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So maybe there's a part of you that is making you really feel like I can't do it anymore. Again, maybe some of you have been bullied. Maybe people have been saying like mean things to you or whatever. They've been, again, dampening your light. But it's important to remember, like, you do have people and resources available to you that can help you. Like, there's no shame in asking for help. And you also have everything you need where you're at. Like some people, like for example, when I started on YouTube, like I was one of those people, and several other people who started the journey with me like thought, oh, you have to have the best camera, the best lighting, the best set, you have to have the best editing software, all that kind of stuff, all this music and like special effects. Like you thought you need to have all those things to have a successful channel, and that's absolutely not true. Like all you need is like a camera, and the one on your phone is good enough, right? And then you need a topic, and you need to make videos. Like that's really all it is. Like you need to have a focus or a niche topic that you're creating the channel about. You need to be able to record yourself, and you need to be able to upload it. So like internet service, right? And most people have those things, but sometimes we look at people who are further along the path than we are, and we think we need all the same things that they do. But, you know, we all have to start from somewhere, and usually it's very simple beginnings, and then it can become more complex and elaborate later on. So just know this is a reminder that you have everything you need, okay? If you have a voice, if you can speak, if you can type, if you can communicate in some way, you're able to get whatever it is that you need and utilize your resources to move towards your goal. Okay, take that next step. Oh my gosh, I love this. I feel like for some of you, the word that I'm also hearing too is like a network. You have a network of people that you can tap into to get what you need. Like maybe you know somebody that has something you can borrow, right? Like a piece of equipment, a car, furniture, whatever. Maybe you have someone that you know who has a connection that can help give you an in to get a job, or someone you know that can maybe write a wonderful recommendation letter for you, or who might know possible openings that you can apply for that you're qualified for, right? Like it's just a matter of asking them, truly. That's all you have to do. Okay, let's see what else. I feel like this other card wants to come, but also this. So let's see what we got. I got an extra card compared to the first group for you. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Emperor. Oh my God, you also have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Six of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Six of Cups. So what I'm really seeing here is that you are a hard worker and you have a very kind, warm, loving spirit. And those two things together have really gotten you quite a few allies. Okay, maybe there's like one or two people that are being super negative in your life right now, but that number pales in comparison to how many people actually love and care for you and want nothing but the best for you. Okay, so you have that support. I'm really hearing that you need to remember that you have friends, you have allies that see your light and that notice that you've been in a crummy situation for a while now, and they are willing to help you get out of it. You just have to let them know that you plan to get out of it, that you want to move away from this, and trust they will help you. Okay, I get the feeling that maybe for some of you, like these people that love you have mentioned it to you before, and maybe you kind of like shrugged it off, where they're like, hey, it seems like you're being mistreated or you're being bullied. Like maybe it's time for you to find a new job. Maybe it's time for you to break up with this person. Maybe it's time for you to move away out of that house, out of that environment. And you've been trying to stick it out for whatever reason. You felt like you had to, maybe out of a sense of obligation, or maybe you were worried you couldn't find anything better. But they've seen that you deserve more, and they didn't want to push you, or maybe they got tired of trying to be pushy because you weren't really open or receptive. And now if you just let them know, like, hey, remember when you said that it's time for me to move on? Like, I think I agree, it's time for me to move on, and can you help me with XYZ? You know what I'm saying? Can you help me with this? So I really feel like that's the energy that I'm getting here, and that I'm really hearing that people want to protect you. Okay, like people are very protective of you, and they don't like the way you've been treated, and they don't like seeing you down or seeing you hurt, or seeing you like have low self-esteem. Like they do really think the world of you is what I'm getting. They want to see you succeed. They want to see you victorious. They want, oh yes, right, this is it right here. They want to see you get the recognition that you deserve. You know, they want you to be treated. They want you to be compensated. They want you to be paid, whatever the case may be for you, exactly what you deserve. They feel like you're undervalued, underappreciated right now. And they see you as a beautiful light right here. I mean, look at this like wand is like all lit up. The sun is out, the confetti and the beautiful flowers are flying, and there's this glowing cape. Like they see you as an amazing human being that is deserving of all the good things in life. And they will help you in whatever way that they can to achieve those things. Now I'm seeing here that it's important for you to remember, this is not necessarily about you, but this is about other people, that there are other people out there that are sneaky, that are jealous, that are selfish, that are greedy. And those are the people that spread that negative energy around, okay? And they kind of say very poisonous and hurtful things, and you really need to like get away from those energies, and you need to see them for what they are, and that they don't deserve to have the amount of value you place on their opinions and their thoughts. Like they are undeserving of that. So you should not pay them any attention. Okay, they're not worth your time, they're not worth your energy, they're not worth any of the grief or tears that are being spilt because of them. Now, what's so beautiful here is we have the Six of Cups here, and this is, you see this beautiful scene with two childhood friends like helping each other. And so what I'm hearing is that there's someone that you have known for quite a while that really has your back, that really would be a great aid to whatever problem you're facing right now. And this could be someone who is an earth sign, so Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. So that could be their sun sign, or they could have other significant placements in the earth signs. Now, I'm also hearing too that it could potentially even be like an Aries, all right? So you can use that as a guide to see like maybe who you can ask first for help and assistance, all right? Yes, so remember that you are a light in the world, and people, you should not take any hurtful comments to heart, and that it's important that you shine your light. And if you're not able to shine your light, you need to be in a position, in a place that supports that light, and you do have the help that you need. You have everything you need to make that transition. All right, loves, what a beautiful reading. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, please don't forget to like and comment down below. And if you enjoy the vibes here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel as well. And thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. I will see you all again at the next one. Take care, loves. Hello there, group number 3. Those of you that were drawn to Wiccan over here, welcome to your reading to find out what you need to remember about yourself right here, right now. Something you may have forgotten through whatever struggles you're experiencing, okay? So with this Wiccan card, on the bottom it says self-control, never heard of it, okay? So there's a couple of things I'm getting here. Firstly, I know about the character Wiccan. He is one of the children of the Scarlet Witch, for those of you that are familiar with Marvel and the Marvel movies. And TV series, you might remember the character Wiccan from WandaVision. But Wiccan has magical abilities very much like the Scarlet Witch. So like Wiccan can fly, Wiccan can create portals and teleport and create energy beams and do very magical things like cast spells. And the thing about Wiccan is a twin brother. And his twin brother, I'm blanking on the name right now, his superhero name, but he has super speed, you know, like the Flash and like Quicksilver. So he can move really, really fast. And so one thing that I'm hearing is that for many of you, you need to remember that you are a brother, a sister, a sibling. Okay, that's very important for you to remember right now. And it's important to kind of remember like what being a sibling to another person means to you, okay? Like, you know, a lot of us have our opinions and our stereotypes on what the ideal brother or sister is like, right? And how older siblings should behave, younger siblings should behave. Like we have all these like beliefs and identifications with these different roles of being a sibling. And so what I'm hearing is that a lot of you need to remember your role as a sibling and who you are and what it means to you to be the older brother, older sister, younger sister, whatever the case may be, okay? And really get a good handle and understanding of what that concept means to you, and be the best version of that concept, okay? Like for example, maybe you know, your ideal sibling is someone who's caring and who listens really well. And perhaps you haven't been doing that because, you know, you've been upset, you've been angry, you've been busy, you've been sad, you've felt like unheard, whatever the case may be. Okay, so it's important for you to remember that. Now, the other thing is that you also need to remember that you are very, very powerful. And the things that you say and do have a very profound impact on other people, right? And so sometimes we forget that maybe the things we say or do can be very hurtful, or we forget that the things that we say and do can really make somebody's day so much better, that we can bring a smile to someone's day, that we can actually be a blessing to someone else, right? So it's important for you to kind of take a look at your actions lately, and it's like, which have you been? Have you been someone that's made someone else's day more difficult or challenging, particularly a sibling, or if you're an only child? Or I guess even if this resonates, like, you know, some of us consider our best friends like a brother or sister to us, right? So have you been that brother or sister, whether chosen or blood related, that makes things difficult for their siblings? Or are you that brother or sister that really helps their siblings out and, is a joy to be around? So that's, I think, very important because, again, self control, never heard of it. This is speaking to me of power, right? Like not knowing your full power and just kind of putting your energy out there in very strong, strong ways, whether to be received positively or negatively by others, okay? So remember who you are. Remember, like, the type of person you're trying to be out there in the world. And it's interesting, I'm being told, like, something that I've seen in a few interviews and I've kind of thought to myself is like, how do you want people to remember you? Okay, like what do you want people to say about you when you've transitioned or when you've moved on from this plane of existence? And are you living up to that statement of yourself, that vision? Oh, this is interesting. So I was speaking in the intro about how I feel for this reading that some of your past lives are past life experiences or traumas or whatever is really playing a role in the current circumstances right now that you are facing when it comes to challenges or obstacles. And we have this here of imprisonment or slavery. So what I'm feeling here is you have forgotten your true power. You have forgotten like how much power and say you have in how your life goes and how much power and influence you have on other people. It could even be here that perhaps the things that you have said have kind of brought some really poor consequences or repercussions. Like maybe you said something and it got you in trouble, right? Currently. And in a past life, it did the same thing. Like even if what you said was right or true, you still got in trouble for it. And maybe that's what you're so upset about, right? Like maybe you spoke out about an injustice or you spoke your true feelings. Maybe you spoke out of anger and resentment because you were being mistreated, and then it created a bigger fight and more arguing, and someone got really upset and hurt, and now you're mad at them or they're mad at you, whatever the case may be. And so it created this kind of a mess, right? And it feels like even though you were speaking your truth, it just came out wrong and the delivery was wrong. Maybe, sometimes when people were in prison before, it's like they were ahead of their time in their thoughts and in their philosophies, right? They were all about equal rights and humanitarianism, but the majority population was not ready to hear that yet. So people were imprisoned for advocating for certain things, okay? And so it could be that you felt like you are being punished for speaking your truth, okay? But again, there's a way that you can say things that are going to be received a little bit better. And I think that's maybe where this sibling energy comes in, because, siblings, family members, best friends, whatever, they know how to push your buttons, right? We love them the hardest and we can hate on them the hardest as well. You know what I'm saying? Even though most of the time that hate or angry energy doesn't really last very long, because at the end of the day, we really do love and care for them, right? And so I'm getting that feeling here that it's just really about reconciling, right? And just saying like, hey, I fully stand by what I said, although I don't think I was wrong. Like, I don't think I was speaking out of the truth. I wasn't saying a lie, okay? It wasn't that what I was saying was false or inaccurate. It's just the way I said it could have been done better. Does that make sense? So I think it's just really about remembering who you are and that you deserve to be treated well. Other people deserve to be treated well also. And a lot of times, it's that miscommunication, right? Things coming out wrong, things being misinterpreted, choosing the wrong words when you're trying to explain something that that can prevent the true intention from being seen. And I'm really feeling like many of you have been felt like you've been taken for granted. That's kind of what I'm getting here. That maybe someone has been depending too much on you and they're not really showing any gratitude for what you've done for them, and that could be why you're upset or somebody got upset in this situation. So we have Dove with Serenity as your next card. Slow down, pause, and breathe. Okay, I think this is really just good advice to remember that, when we get in an argument, that we need to kind of call a timeout. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to, everyone go back in your corners, like they say in like boxing matches, right? Go back in your corner, cool down, reflect on the situation, really understand your end goal and what is the best, most peaceful, compromising way to achieve it. Okay, so I think it's very important that you are a reasonable being and you have wants and needs. And it's important for you to be able to achieve those wants and needs, but also understand how it's affecting other people as well. Okay, because that's usually why people fight, is we're just not aware of how what we want might be in conflict with someone else or might be detrimental to someone else at times. Okay, so I feel like that's important for you to remember. And I think that will help make it easier for you to communicate again with this person and hopefully reconcile, that you're not being unreasonable, they're not being unreasonable. It's just about really coming to understand one another. Okay, so let's get these tarot cards out. I feel like this one wanted to come out with it as well. So you have Temperance here. Okay, so this is about balance, right? We have land and sea. We have this water flowing between here. So it's about speaking to each other very calmly, very rationally, being willing to listen to each other as well, okay? So I feel like it's like what I'm hearing now is remembering that you both love each other. You both care about each other, okay? And that something may have gone without being said for a while, or maybe someone's feelings got hurt and they just kind of lashed out, even though that's not what they truly meant. So I'm hearing that you need to remember that this is all about love, okay, and caring for one another. And sometimes we just show it in ways that can be a bit hurtful, okay? So I feel like that makes a lot more sense now to a lot of you. And we have two kings here. We have the King of Wands and the King of Cups. So this is really interesting because King of Wands is fire energy and King of Cups is water energy, right? And what do we know about fire and water? They don't mix very well, okay? So what I'm hearing is that it just could be that you and your sibling, or your close friend or whatever, it's just like a lot of times you are very different from each other, right? Different opinions, different values, different interests, but those things can be overcome because again, at the bottom and underneath it all as the foundation is love and respect for one another, okay? And so there is something that you can both learn from each other through your differences. And just because you have a lot of differences doesn't mean you can't cooperate with each other. Doesn't mean that you can't find some kind of middle ground. Okay? So I feel like that's really possible. I'm hearing like conflict resolution here. And if you feel like somebody, you can never see eye to eye to them, like they will never get you, you've already lost before you've even begun. Do you know what I'm saying? And you also have to give a little to receive a little. And I feel like that's the temperance. If you want someone to understand you, you have to be willing to understand them as well. If you want someone to help you, you have to be willing to help them out as well, right? I'm hearing that vibe, that there's this give and take that needs to occur that's in balance and in harmony. With the Chariot card, what's so interesting about the Chariot is we have these two birds here that are kind of guiding the Chariot, right? And they're opposites, again, just like water and fire. We have black and white. And you both can get what you want or go where you need to go if you are aligned, if you are seeing eye to eye, if you communicate enough, if you trust each other enough to move forward. But if, again, you're too stubborn, you don't want to work with each other, you don't trust the other person, whatever, then you're going to go in different ways and then the Chariot isn't going to move. There's not going to be any progress for either of you. And as a matter of fact, it's going to be more of a struggle, right? Because if you're both going this way, then the Chariot, you're you're like contrary forces, contrary energies. And so it's like you're putting all this energy and effort to go nowhere, to get nothing. But if you come together and you move in the same direction, what's actually beautiful is that the weight of the chariot, the burden, is actually lighter because you're sharing it. It's being distributed between the two of you. Okay, so I feel like that sort of metaphor probably speaks to you on some sort of philosophical level, or like like an analogy, right? So I trust that you will receive that message. Now, lastly, we have the Hierophant here. And what I'm hearing is it may be helpful for you to have a mediator, okay? Like the Hierophant in some decks was referred to as like the Pope or like a priest. And so, you know, if you're familiar with Christianity and Catholicism, a lot of people would go to the priest or the Pope to help them with a lot of their troubles and problems in life, maybe some disputes and disagreements. And the Pope is in their best form, or the priest is meant to guide them, right? To do the right thing. And so I feel like it might even be beneficial because, again, you know, you are siblings, you are really, really close. It might actually be, and so therefore you're both biased, okay? And you have your sort of prejudices and, again, biases towards each other and the situation, that it might actually be helpful to have a third party come in who respects the both of you and who, again, isn't necessarily swayed to one side versus the other. So this might not even be someone like another sibling or a parent or family member. This might be someone else, like a therapist, a counselor, some neutral party that you both trust to help guide you to a resolution. Okay, so overall, I think the important thing is to remember you are family, you are soulmates, okay? And not all soulmates are romantic, just so you know. And that at the end of the day, you are brought into this life together to learn from each other, to support each other, and occasionally that sometimes leads to disagreements and arguments and fights. But at the end of the day, love is the unifier between the two of you, okay? And I'm getting the vibe that even though you're both really angry with each other and maybe have come this close to just like cutting each other out of your life, that's not truly what you really want, okay? Because you both, at times, yes, maybe bring the worst out of each other, but I think more often than not, you bring out the best in each other, okay? So, wow, this is a very deep reading out of all three of them. And so I sense a lot of emotions in this one. And I hope you find that peace and serenity so that you can come to a resolution and things can kind of go back to kind of like a nice, positive vibe for the two of you, okay? Well, if this reading resonated with you, please don't forget to like and comment below. If you love the vibes overall of the reading and this channel, then don't forget to subscribe. But thank you so much for letting me do this reading for y'all. I hope you enjoyed it once again, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.